And so yeah, we're just kind of hanging out. Just wanted to pop on. I haven't done a live in a really, really long time. But I didn't want to get on too late because I feel so old. Like, I'm so tired. Zach and I, we went out to eat, and then we went out to like another restaurant. We sat at the bar for a few minutes. Oh, that's such a fun time. I love family movie night. Just had dinner. Yum. What did you have? Monsters University. Maverick loves that movie. Like, that is his favorite. Hi, girl. That is his favorite. I think he thinks the first one is maybe scary, which I mean, he's 2, so he might think that that's scary. But they're both really good movies. I like them both. And ooh, blueberry muffins. That sounds good. What did you guys have for dinner? So we ate at kind of like a local restaurant, and I had, ooh, deer steaks. That sounds yummy. I had a Philly cheesesteak, and it was okay. Yeah, my fries were a little soggy, which was disappointing because they're the steak fries. So when you get steak fries, you're thinking, oh yeah, they're gonna be crispy, they're gonna be good. Steak quesadilla, see, that sounds good. I should have just got a sirloin, I think, at the restaurant. But I got a Philly cheesesteak, and it just didn't compare. Like, Zach's Philly cheesesteaks are just really, really good. And yeah, his are just so good. It's hard to compare when they're that good, in my opinion. Yeah. But it was good. Overall, it was good. We got these like buffalo chips that were pretty good. They were pretty decent. Spicy barbecue chicken. See, that's kind of what Zach had. He had a wrap, and it was some barbecue chicken. He really liked that. And he had steak fries too, so. Ooh, what is that? That sounds good. That sounds good, Wanda. That sounds really good. See, I'm always looking for something different to eat. I gotta turn this down. It's Zach's night to give them a bath, so he's giving them a bath right now. I'm so glad we had a date night too. It was definitely needed. I haven't been out of the house away from the kids for longer than 30 minutes since it's been a good 2 weeks, I want to say. Yeah, because we were really sick last weekend. This time last week, we were super sick. And so, yeah, I want to say it's been 2 weeks since I've been away from the kids. So we were gone for like 2 hours, and it felt really good. We feel refreshed. I feel refreshed. It feels really nice. Michaela, I am so sorry to hear that. I hope that you can bake her as long as you can. Everything goes good. And the third, I understand that third pregnancy is hard. And I feel like it's harder because you already have 2 kids. And so you're just more tired and such. So I feel like it can be a lot. It can be really hard. So I hope everything goes well for you. You got a couple more weeks till your full term. Hopefully all goes well. And you have your little girl finally, which is super exciting. Girls are really fun. They're crazy, but they are a lot of fun. Yeah. Maybe our next, I mean, I don't care either way, but I think it would be fun either or. Like, if we had a girl, it would be really fun because maybe it'd have a little sister close in age, or if it was a boy, you know, the Maverick would have a brother, which would be cool too. So we're not close to that yet, but I was just thinking that when you said that. Ooh, that sounds good. I'm gonna have to make that sometime. Do you cook that? Do you do that in the oven, or do you do it in the crock pot? Because I feel like you could do either or, but if you said spaghetti sauce, but with noodles, you probably cook that on the stovetop and bake it, right? Hey, happy Friday. Aw, yes. So, Michaela, you're going to love dressing her up. It's so much fun. My best friend just had her first little girl after 2 boys. And she does that a lot. She puts her in bows all the time, 24/7. It is just so cute. And we have like a lot of matching outfits for the girls together, which I'm really excited for this summer when it finally starts getting warm. and they're just gonna be so cute. It's so fun. Navy is like in that in-between age because her hair is so long. So Savannah is at 14 months old. She was like still kind of bald and Navy has a lot of hair. So she's in between the fact where she can either do, she doesn't really like bows anymore. So I've been doing pigtails. I'll do like one pigtail or two pigtails, and she doesn't really let me put clips in there too often because she wants to rip them out. We've already hit that phase, but they're just so much fun. Okay, in the oven or the crock pot. You can do either. Okay, okay. I want to do some more fun camping trips. Zach and I were just talking about that. Maverick keeps asking literally every day to go camping, and we really need to go. We do. We're not doing any big trips this year. We already did Disney in February, and so like the rest of the summer and fall is just kind of like on a budget since we put all of our, you know, like fun budget to Disney earlier in the year. And so we try to do at least 1 to 2 camping trips a month, but it's just, I feel like sometimes I feel like we get our money's worth out of our camper, and then sometimes like I don't. It just kind of depends what mood I'm in when you catch me in. Yeah, it's hard. Like we just get so busy. I mean, with family gatherings, weddings, kids sports, you know, just seeing friends, just a lot. We just get really busy, and you know, you think, oh, there's 4 weekends and every month, like, you know, you can do a lot of stuff, but it's just really hard to do it. Oh, next week, that'll be so fun. And I did do tent camping once when Savannah was a baby. She was like 16, 17 months old, and it was hard. It was a lot. It was hot. We went in like the hottest weekend, and we had all the dogs, and we were in one little tent, and it was terrible. It was bad. Like we were sweating, and we were like packed full in this tent. And Zach grew up camping, and I told him, I'm like, if you want to go camping more, we got to do a camper, dude, because it's the only way it's going to be super enjoyable. And we got lucky. We got ours right before COVID and stuff, which was really nice because we got it with the discount before they went sky high, because right after COVID, like they jumped up because nobody could leave or go anywhere, but you could go camping. So that's what people did. Sales went like crazy. Thank you, Wanda. This is the first time I've put on makeup in like 2 weeks, I think. Usually I just kind of like rock it, whatever, my normalness. Yeah, the weekends just fly by, and I feel like when you have kids too, it just goes by really fast. And there's only like, you look at summer, you're like, oh yeah, you get like 3 whole months, but it goes by really fast. And then we have Maverick's birthday this summer, which I'm already planning, and that's crazy. And it's hard because then some of the weekends for Ohio anyways, when you go to book a camping trip, so the dates open up like 6 months from now. So like 6 months from now, the dates are opening up at end of October. So for example, like 4th of July, you literally have to be on at midnight to book wherever you want to go in the state of Ohio when it opens up, because it books so fast. And so we've never been camping somewhere over the 4th of July weekend. We did 1 year over Memorial Day, and we've never been able to Labor Day because they're always just booked right away. And it's hard for us to know exactly what we're going to be doing if we have any plans. So we don't really book that far in advance. I mean, we should, but we just don't. I think the furthest we might go this year would be Indiana. So like 1 state over. That's it, I think. Just because it can get expensive with 2 vehicles. Because the gas, you know, Zach's in his truck. I'm in the van with the kids. 2 gases, going there, paying for that and back. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like all states is probably like that with camping. And it just kind of stinks. Like, I mean, I get it, why they do it. It's the same thing with Disney. Like, when we wanted, so when I was planning Disney, I stayed up till midnight so Savannah could do the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. Like, that was going to be her birthday present from us. It was where you get ready with the princesses, you get a dress, and it's like 3 hours long, but you book it, and it's like one-on-one and stuff, and they have limited spots. and I stayed up till midnight, and it was totally booked. Like it was gone. And I did it so fast, someone checked out quicker than me. And so I never got it. And I checked for 2 weeks afterwards, and we ended up doing something different anyways. But it was a bummer. That was one thing I knew she would have loved, but it's okay. It all worked out. It was still a really great trip. Hey Faith, happy Friday. See, that's perfect. That is so perfect. We have a couple of people where we said we wanted to do that with them too. Like, you know, we'll do the site and you just bring a tent, and then we can hang out on the same site and we have stuff to do, because none of our friends have campers and that would just be so fun to go camping with friends, if you know what I mean. Or we said, if you want to go tent camping, like we can all hang out. And because Zach said when he grew up, like they had their parents had friends with campers, and then they had kids and they all went camping together, and that would just be so fun. Like my bestie and them, they had, like, it's not their camper but it's someone else's, and anyways, they won't be able to go. And so it would just be really fun. Like we keep telling all of our friends, they're like, yeah, we're gonna do this. I'm like, why don't you buy a camper? I keep peer pressuring, like, just get a camper. Someone needs to get one so we can all go places. But a lot of them did say they would come visit us and hang out. And so we've had a couple of people do that. And that's still fun too. They usually come over for lunch, dinner, or in between, hang out. The kids have a really good time and it's fun. But our weather, I don't know what it's like where you guys are, but in Ohio, it's still cold. Like that one weekend I filmed, you guys got to see with us going camping, it was super hot, and it's been cold ever since. It hasn't warmed up, which really is a huge bummer. A huge bummer. See, Sarah, I think the same thing. I think people our age aren't camping anymore, which I understand. I think it could be, you know, a lot of maybe, I don't want to assume economical reasons, or maybe like they just didn't want to do it as kids. Like I never did it. I never went camping as a kid. Like I never went tent camping, never went in a camper. So this whole world was totally new to me. And I really love it. I think it's a lot of fun. The kids are going to have those great memories. I talked about that in today's video. Like the kids love it. They talk about it all the time. Granted, they're 5 and 2, almost 3. So I mean, I think they're going to remember some of it. I have a lot of it on footage, but I don't think a lot of people our age go camping anymore. I don't see a lot of people our age go camping. I think I know maybe in real life, maybe like, I know someone wanted to buy one, and I know someone that does, but I'm not close with them. Like I went to high school with them, you know, but I know that they have one. Yeah, see, they can always stay at a hotel, or we offered the tent thing, or so some of the campsites that we, because we're not going far, so they're drivable, you know, within an hour-ish or more, probably more, depends. But yeah, it just stinks. It just stinks. I wish more of them could. Hi, happy Friday. I'm doing good. I had date night tonight with Zach. And it was really nice. It was good to get out of the house. Yeah, it could be my area too. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if you guys are the same way. I have friends. I don't have a lot of friends. I have acquaintances, but I do have like one best friend, and then I have, you know, some friends that I talk to and stuff. Those are the people that I have definitely peer pressured to get a camper, and they're like, no, we'll just come visit you. And so they have. Okay, Mavi. Zach's down here to get the kids snacks. Are you guys' kids snackers? Because my kids before bed will act like they haven't ate. It's okay. Yeah, you could turn that off. My kids will act like they haven't ate all day, and then it'll come bedtime and they're like, we want this, we want that. And Disney has screwed up their sleep schedule. I know it's April and we went in February, but to this day, we are still struggling with the sleeping, because, you know, they slept, like, we were all in one room. They slept with us in beds, and so it's been a struggle. That's the only con. And you know what? That's a pretty good con with our Disney trip, I'd say. That's pretty good. And I love that trip. I don't know if I really talked about that a lot, but that was seriously the best family vacation ever. I know some people aren't Disney people, some are. Zach really wasn't, but he went when he was like 1 or 2, so he doesn't really remember it. And I know I'm saying that, and then my kids are that age. But we do plan on going back when our kids are older because it was just so much fun, and they talk about it all the time, and they always want to watch the Disney vlog and the home videos that I have that you guys haven't seen, and they just love it. It was a really good time. It was really good. You can't hear, but Junior is licking the floor behind me back there. It's driving me crazy. It's driving me so crazy. I can't. I cannot. I just need, I want to go on another vacation. It's not feasible, but I would really love to go on another vacation. It sounds like fun. It definitely does. And I think we're going to be going camping here soon, actually. Yeah. I'm gonna need to moderate. Don't know. But yeah, do you guys have any fun plans on a Friday? Okay, there we go. It's hard to do that on my iPad. I didn't know if you typed that wrong, but yeah. Last time I was on a live, I had to deal with some strange comments, to say the least. Some strange comments. I binge watched Firefly, the new season, in a day. I know, I'm really bad, but it was so good. Has Katherine Heigl and oh my gosh, what's her name? She was on the show, the medical show back in the day called Scrubs. It was a really, really good, it was, oh my gosh, Firefly Lane, the new season was so good. I bawled my eyes out. I cried like a little baby. It was so good. I highly recommend it. It's a really, really good show. And I think it's actually based on a true story, I think. Don't take my word, 100% word for that, but I think it is. And it was really good. I mean, it was a really good show. And then you know what? One thing I dislike about Netflix is I feel as if all my shows have new episodes, or they release episodes or get new seasons literally all at once. Why do they do that? Does anybody, I don't know why they do that. Because they release Working Moms, like the new season, a day before. And I'm kind of on and off. Like sometimes I like the show, sometimes I don't. I'm kind of back and forth on it, but I watch it, if that makes sense. And then Firefly Lane came out, and I really like that too. And I also saw online that somebody from Netflix released footage from Selling Sunset. I don't know if you guys watched Selling Sunset, but apparently there was 4 hours of leaked footage online, and then Netflix got it taken down. I think it was maybe on Netflix, or it was on some website. I don't know. I didn't get to see it, but apparently they leaked it, and I was like, oh man, I would have loved to be able to see that. Like that would just be, I feel like we've been waiting forever on that, but I just, okay. I had some people ask me on Instagram about the Stanley Cups. So I'm gonna be honest with my review here. I like it. It's sturdy, it has a handle attached to it. However, it does leak. It definitely does leak, okay? And the straw, if you drop it, my straw is so damaged. You can you're not gonna be able to see, but it has a crack in it right here. And then this end of it is just all jacked up too. though that's the only cons to it. Other than that, I really like the cup. I think it's good. I know some of them are going for like $80. I wouldn't pay that much personally, but the $40 ones, definitely. Ashley, you have to watch the new part that was released of Firefly Lane because you're gonna cry. I felt like I was almost crying every single episode. It was so good. And granted, I knew the ending of Firefly Lane. I still bawled like a little baby. Like, it was just so good. It was so just heartfelt. And you know, you have a lot of shows that are about love. I don't know. Lately, I haven't had a lot of good shows that are about friendship, and or at least I haven't come across them anyways. Like they're always about love or career, which is fine, but sometimes it's really nice to have a show that is about friendship, like a lifelong friendship, or like with a best friend. And you know, I'm lucky enough to have that, and I know some aren't, or some just have like a couple, and so it's really nice and refreshing to have a show that is like that. And I think that's probably why I cried like a little baby, because I'm such a sentimental person, and it's just so sweet. Aw, that's so much fun, Tammy. 4-month old. Oh my gosh, that's a squishy little baby. You definitely have fun though, because you enjoy that. They just grow so fast and they're just so much fun. And yes, friendship through the decades. Like that's exactly. So my best friend and I've known her since like mid 2000s, and we've been friends since like 2010, 11ish, and then like best friends since 2012. And so it's only been 1 decade, but it feels like a long time. And then I have another friend. We've been friends since we were 5, so for 23 years. And so it's just crazy, you know, to think through the years, and it's just so heartwarming. Like I don't know if you guys feel that way about shows, but I feel like some shows you just don't like, that's not, or they're, you know, really gory, not gory, sometimes gory shows, or they're more about crime and mystery, and yeah. Yeah, it can be very hard. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't made like new friends. So a lot of my friends are people that I knew from high school, from when I was younger. None of them are um like that I met in late adulthood, if that makes sense. Yeah, it can be really hard to meet new friends, I think. And I've been kind of waiting till my kids get older and in school. And then, like, when they start having friends and meeting them, like at Savannah's old school, one thing I really liked, excuse me, about her old school is that a lot of the moms were just super nice, and I got to know them. But then, you know, I switched Savannah schools, you know, and so I don't see them. They're all still at that old school, but I switched Savannah, and so I don't get to see them. And they were all really amazing women. They were just so nice. And I'm sure if Savannah would have stayed, I probably would have gotten closer to one in particular. But it can just be really hard when you have kids and you're busy to meet new friends. And then I feel like I overanalyze everything when I'm meeting new friends. Like I just, whenever I do have time with like my other friends, I just overthink everything that I say. Like, oh, did I sound dumb? Did I sound this way? Like, am I trying too hard? Or, you know, you just overthink everything when you're hanging out, and it's so hard. It really is. Like my bestie and I, we text every day. We try to get together. Sometimes I feel like it's in spurts, when it's, you know, we're always together, or sometimes like every so often. It's just kind of hard. Yeah, see, I think I'll actually meet school moms here soon. This year with Savannah's new school, like we hardly interact with the teachers or the parents at all, which I am not really fond of. But then with the old school, that's all you do. And Maverick's going to that old school this year, this coming fall. And so I think it'll be a little bit easier for me to meet more people. I like that, Tammy. Your friends your whole life with your family member. I love that. Yes, Faith. I do that every single time. Whenever I'm out in public and I'm around with someone, like I just think about everything I said. Did I sound dumb? Do they understand what I meant? Did they take the joke? Did I come off as rude? Did I come off as this way? It's just, I don't remember ever being, yes, like, why did I say that? I seriously do not remember being like this in high school. Like, I think when I was in high school and college, I literally didn't care. I was just like, whatever, I'm not going to think about what I said. And I think motherhood has just brought on this, because I'm not with people all the time. I'm a stay-at-home mom. And I wasn't even like this when Savannah was born, and then I went back to work. I wasn't like this. Like, I, was always working with people, talking with people, because of work and such, and sales. And so I didn't really think that way. I think becoming a stay-at-home mom maybe has made me this way, because I'm not always interacting with people. And so when I do, I overthink it. Maybe that's what it is. Sarah, it can be so hard. When Savannah was a baby, I seriously only had my best friend and then like my childhood friend. That's it. Because all of my other friends just started having kids like within the last 2-3 years. Like, they just started having kids and getting married. And before that, nobody really was. So I felt like I think that kind of is the gap, because we had that brief period, and we're grown adults. We know we have that brief period where we're not friends for a little bit, so we kind of get it and understand. And so that's normal. And we both acknowledge that. Hi guys, you're supposed to be upstairs in bed. They're crazy. Oh my gosh, Wanda, I am so sorry to hear that. That's so hard. If you haven't watched Firefly Lane, you definitely should. You're gonna cry. You're definitely gonna cry, especially after what you just said. That is so sad. I could not imagine my life without my best friend. Like, we text every day, and I could not imagine it. Like, there's some days yeah. I am sorry to hear that. You definitely need to watch Firefly Lane. You will cry like a little baby. It is really good. And that's just, that's so hard. Since 6th grade, that's just, hi. Firefly Lane is on Netflix. It is about I think, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's a true story, or like it's based off of a true story, but it is best friend. These girls, they meet, I think, when they're middle school, high school, and they're neighbors, and they grew up like on the same road, and they become best friends, and they're going through life together through all the decades. And it's not perfect. They do have fights. They have falling outs. They fall in love. Not with each other, with men, and they're really there through life together. And I don't want to spoil the ending, but it's really good, and it definitely makes me cry. No, that is a horrible loss. That's like literally family. You know what I mean? Like, that's literally a family member. I tell my best friend all the time, like, you're my sister. Like, I don't have a sister, so you are my sister, basically. She is a sister. I do not have a sister. Yes, I bet, Tammy, I bet that would be very hard. I know there were so many people I went to high school with, or that were like around that age, that they, got married and they moved off because of military, and they've just moved so many different states and places. And that would just be so hard to not be around any family, to be around like constantly new people. It'd be hard to make connections and to keep those connections. Zach and I were just talking about that, actually, if, moving around, and it would be hard. Yes, exactly. I'm sure she was like your sister to you, because that's exactly how I feel. That's how I feel about mine. So living next to my family is, okay, so when we first started looking at houses 3 years ago, when we wanted to move, there were hardly any houses, and there were some that we wanted. And so we saw this house, the one that we're living in, We saw it right around when everything was happening with COVID. Like we literally looked at this house when lockdowns were starting to happen everywhere. And we looked at this house, and it was, like I said, it's couple houses from my parents. My mom actually showed it. So my mom sent me the house, and I said, "Oh, this house is awesome. Like, where is it?" And she's like, "Oh, it's a couple of houses down from us." I'm like, "I've never seen that house." And hey, happy Friday. We're just hanging out talking. And so my mom sent it to me. I looked through it, and it was checking all the boxes, except it had one less bedroom that I like. We ideally wanted 4 bedrooms. Anyways, so I sent it to Zach, and he said, because the thing, it's a different road, whatnot. And so he saw it, and he's like, "Oh, the house looks awesome. Let's look at it." And I said, "Okay, well, I gotta tell you, it is a couple of houses down from my parents." And at first he's like, "Oh, okay." And then he was like, "Well, let's go look at it. Let's look at it." And we fell in love with it, the location, everything. And so we went ahead, put an offer on it, and then everything shut down. So we didn't think that this whole closing was going to happen with everything. And so it's been really good. They help us out a lot. We help them out a lot. They have a dog. We have our dogs. We're on vacation. We go back and forth. And it's just really nice. We share a 0-turn mower together. We went on it together, so it's really easy. We just go back and forth. Like they store it at their house for us, so it's really nice. And it's just it's good. Like you know what I mean? Like if they need some baking soda, I have some baking soda. If they have, if I need like a lemon, they have a lemon. That's just really random. I just looked at a lemon, that's why. But it is nice. I mean, we text before anything. They help us with our house, and the dogs, we help them same way. So it's really nice. And then the kids too, if they want to go down, or sometimes like if I want to go for a walk, I can go for a walk with them. It's really easy because Zach's so tired. He works so hard. He's a construction worker. He works outside, and so he's outside all day and he's working hard. He doesn't really want to go for a long walk, so I'll go for a walk with them. Oh, I bet I can imagine that there would be, Faith. I definitely could. We looked at a lot of different places. We didn't know, we kind of had an idea of where we wanted to live, and it just so happened that, we ended up a couple houses down from my parents, and it's been a good experience. We've lived here for 3 years now, officially this month, and it's been really good. Oh yeah, we don't show up at each other's houses like that. Like we know when we're coming, this and that. Like before they come over, they text, and it works out really well that way. There was only one time actually, my brother, because he's younger, so my brother is 19 and I'm 28, so we're 9 years apart. And there was one time I was sitting here on the couch, and it's early stages of postpartum. Navy's a baby, and my whole chest is out. Like I had a tank top on, like I had the haka on this when I was nursing Navy, and so like I was, I was exposed, and I'm feeding her, and the code on my door starts going because my camera went off, and then the code starts going, and I'm like, "Oh shit." And luckily I had a blanket right here, and I covered myself, and my brother walks in. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I'm like, "You really got to text next time." He's like, "Oh, no problem." He's like, "I'm sorry, no big." I'm like, "It's no big deal. You're good." And yeah, that's the only time that's ever happened, honestly. Oh my gosh. Yes, California home prices are insane to me. Like I love watching all the shows on TV, and then I really like I was just about to ask where my phone is, and I'm live on my phone. I like going on Realtor and just like looking at random cities and just seeing prices. It's just really fun to do that sometimes, just to be curious. And I cannot believe the home prices. Like our home in California would be probably $1 million house out there, maybe maybe like 800, because it's not like California level updated and stuff. So maybe like 800, but that's still crazy. That's insane. It's so expensive. So that would be hard, especially, and then Indiana, California, that's very far. That's so nice. Tammy, you and your niece live on the same street. I don't see my mom every day. A couple of times throughout the week. It just depends if we're really busy. Like tonight, it was so easy. They walked down here and they watched the kids for us when we went to date night, and then they walked back. So it was super convenient for us to do that. I really like that. See, there's always, Faith, there's always two sides to every story. Always is. Maybe it's a brother thing, Ashley. It's definitely got to be a brother thing because my brother is like that. He still lives at home, and yeah, he's definitely he did that the other day. I had my allergy shot, and I thought I had like I so I leave and my cameras start going off, and I'm like, who the heck is at my house? And I go check, and my stepdad had to pick up something, and so I called him. I was like, hey, I'm not home, like I thought you were coming later to pick up so and so. And he's like, no, that's not me. And I was like, well, why is your truck at my house? And it was actually on my birthday. And he's like, oh, maybe it's my brother. And so I call him and I'm like, are you at my house? He's like, yeah, I'm in your house. Where are you? I'm like, you got a text. I'm like, I'm not home. I'm getting my allergy shot. Make sure you lock it and all this and that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I think it's a brother thing. I really do think it's a brother thing. Oh gosh. That makes me laugh though. Yes, that would be such a hard decision. Like, financially it's good, but so I have a question. This might be too personal, but what made you go from all the way in Cali to Indiana? What, like that Midwest? Like, why did you land? Do you have other family around Indiana, or like? I'm just curious. Because that is a pretty far distance away to go from Cali to Indiana. Sorry, I have my iPad here reading. I'm moderating and reading comments. Can't think of the word. I love that. So we have a couple of friends in our neighborhood um, that live in our neighborhood and stuff. So sometimes Zach will go over there, he'll come over here, vice versa. They have kids that are the same age as Maverick and Navy and all this and that. So they have a lot of fun. I'm trying to convince more people, more of my friends again. Like, I'm trying to peer pressure them. Oh, excuse me, into getting campers. While I'm also trying to peer pressure them to live in our neighborhood, because our neighborhood always, not always, but like whenever there is a house for sale, it just goes really fast. And so I'm always trying to convince them. Zach is too. He's trying to convince his cousin and stuff. He's like, buy the house back here. Okay, so that makes sense. Well, yeah, YOLO, you might as well try it. We always thought about moving, but we we would never do it. I we so I was born in Georgia, and oh, hey girl, happy Friday. We're just hanging out talking. I was born in Georgia and I just love the ocean, but I don't know if I would want to live by the ocean because I'm terrified of hurricanes. And at least in Ohio, I will say, we don't have a lot of bad weather. Like, yeah, we do get tornadoes here or there, but not very often. And so our weather is decent. Like, I know sometimes they'll complain, be like, oh, the weather, this and that, and but we're not too up north where we're always getting snow, but we're not too down south where we can get that. And so we're kind of in the middle, right there, and where it's good. And so, I mean, I like being around family. It would be very hard to leave, but if we were to move somewhere, if that's a huge if, Zach always talked about, he's like, well, what if we moved out to like Montana or one of the Dakotas? And because we loved South Dakota when we were there. We were only there for a couple days, but it was so beautiful. And it was like Nebraska too. I don't know what it is. We just like the country, and we always wanted to live in the country. I mean, we have like the country view of our house now, which is why it's perfect. But it's really nice. It would be nice to live in the country. sometime. But that would be where, I know Georgia and Montana are like total opposites, but I love the ocean. I love Georgia. I was born there, and I just have like a connection to it, I think. See, I like it when it's warm outside, but it's to a certain degree of warmth, if that makes sense. If it gets too hot, I'm just totally over it, because my theory is if I'm cold, I can fix it. I can just dress warmer. But if I'm hot, there's only so much you can do with being hot outside, and if that makes sense. That might be why it is. I do like it when it's, warm outside, but to a certain degree. And we don't really get a lot of snow. Our snow has been going down, like how much we get, and I think that's because I'm not a scientist or anything, but I know global warming, this and that, and maybe that's what it is. But we used to get snow like crazy a decade ago, and now we don't. Like, I bought snowsuits for the kids this year. This is something I'm really pissed about. I bought snowsuits for the kids and nothing. Couldn't even use them. Brand new still. I'm still going to save them because, Navy will grow into them, hopefully, if it ever snows here again. But that makes me so mad. I bought snowsuits, and I didn't buy Navy ones. She had Savannah's hand-me-down, but snowsuits, and we couldn't even go outside. And I'm glad I didn't spend the money buying snow boots, because that would have made me really mad. But we didn't even have an opportunity to play out in the snow. That's what's crazy to me. No opportunity whatsoever. Yes, living in the country would just be, it'd be so much fun. Like, I told Zach my dream I would love to have a horse. I know that's really random. I would just love to have a horse. It would be so nice. That's really random, but I think it would be really fun to have a horse, live in the country. And then Zach's like, well, if we have a horse, we gotta have chickens. And I'm like, listen, I'm scared of chickens. I don't know if I could do chickens. I mean, it'd be great to have the eggs, but I would be scared to take care of them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. I've seen a lot of things on social media like, oh, homesteading, this and that. And I'm like, that sounds really great, but I don't want to take care of the chickens. I'm scared of them. I'm scared of birds like that. And I couldn't. And they're like, well, you just pick them up. I can't. I can't. That's a whole different topic. I would love to have chickens for the benefits, but just, I don't want to take care of them. Like, if Zach took care of them, or if like my mom wanted to walk down here and take care of them, cool. Like, I'm all for it. I will have the chickens. My neighbors might not be happy though, but I would do it then. Yeah, such a mild winter. And it's just, I mean, I know if we were like to go up to Michigan, we would have snow because, that's closer up there. But I don't want to live in Michigan. No offense if you live in Michigan, but I do not want to live in Michigan. Absolutely not. Ooh, ducks. I could watch ducks. I could have ducks, but then I feel like they would just be more like pets. Because what are ducks for? Like, I know people eat ducks, and I don't know. Because, okay, so I think I sometimes am like into that. Like, I would love to have animals like that, but I've never had animals like that, so I don't know how I would be. A horse though, I could have a horse. I know they're a lot of work and they're expensive, but I think it would be awesome. Yeah, I was living vicariously through Savannah when she was doing her horseback riding lessons. I was watching, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. She loves it, and I just wish there was a place closer. That's a whole different tangent, but I do. And the thing is, okay, here's the bummer. I don't know if this is with your gut, like in your market, if it's like this. I was watching a video, and someone lived in Utah. And I know Utah has Mormons, and Mormons tend to have a lot of children. I say tend to, I'm not trying to stereotype, but the person was saying on there, like, in Utah, you get a house, they have a lot of bedrooms. Average amount of bedrooms in Utah is usually 4 to 5. I'm like, that would be awesome, because it is so rare in my area to find a big house like that without it being super expensive and super outdated. And I'm not moving. Like, I look on Realtor for fun. and I like to see what's going on. Like I like to stay informed. And it's just crazy to me how it's so hard. Even when we were looking 3 years ago, we could not find a house with more than 3 bedrooms easily. They were, and then the ones that did have a lot of bedrooms, it would just be way too big and way too expensive. And I'm like, absolutely not. Or it'd be in a really not a location we would want. But it's just so crazy. Like I mean, why aren't houses having more bedrooms? I mean, I know it's more expensive, but it's just deterrent. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me, but there's hardly any houses with 4 bedrooms. All of them are 3. Granted, we could convert if we really wanted to, but yeah, that's a tangent. Zach and I were talking about that tonight, a date night. We were talking about that and other things, but that came up and I'm like, I don't know why there's not a lot of houses that have more than 4 bedrooms. I don't understand that. I don't know if that, let me know in your area or your state if it is like that, because it is damn near impossible to find a house with more than 4 bedrooms. Which I don't understand. And then it makes me think the people that do have that many bedrooms in a house, they're not selling because they're not going to find anything bigger. So they're not leaving at all. I mean, I had a neighbor that just recently, I think it was a year or 2 ago, they added on because their blended family, they need more bedrooms, which I imagine their house probably only has 3 bedrooms, just like ours. And we are working on, we really want to do an addition really bad to add 2 bedrooms to the house, which would be really nice. So hopefully that is part of our plan. That would be really nice. And you know what, Ashley, it's very, very rare that houses have that here. Very rare that they have that many, to be honest. I mean, so I'm curious. Some states don't have basements and some do. In our area, it really depends. I know a lot of people in some newer houses aren't building basements, but then some are. In older houses, basements are fairly common. But we do have basements around here. Our old house had a basement. It was terrible. I absolutely not. That house, though, our old house was junk. We put so much money into it, so much work into it, and it was just junk. Like I felt like every time we would try to make it better, there was just some obstacle. There was something wrong with it. It was built in the 60s. It was a pain in the ass. It was terrible. It was awful. Absolutely not. I'm so glad we don't live there anymore. 1, because of the neighbor, and 2, because of all the issues that we had with it. I mean, I still have the old videos on sleep still. That living room was awesome after we did it. And then what else? What else did we renovate there? Oh, we did a new roof on that old house. We tore down like this old thing. We redid the entire backyard. We did so much at that house. It was crazy. The house was junk. Absolute junk. And that, I will say that, like, you do get to make it your own, and old houses do have character, but sometimes I feel like you're just pouring so much money into it and you're finding so many things. Like sometimes it would be fun to see what we would find. We have a lot of tri-level houses too around here. My best friend actually lives in a tri-level, and the house that we originally wanted before this one was a tri-level, and it had 4 bedrooms. Those are like the only houses that have 4 bedrooms, I will say, around here. They're the only ones, because most of them have 3 bedrooms upstairs in the top try. You go down, and then that's the main, and then when you go down to the, the bottom floor, like the basement, is where there's like an open living, a bathroom, laundry, and always a bedroom. Always. There's just so many houses that are like that in Ohio that have the tri-levels. See, I think that more east, I feel like there's a lot of houses with more bedrooms because they, you know, they're older. Like people used to have bigger families then. Am I right or am I wrong? I feel like that is definitely why, like there's some houses in our area that are really, really old and they're huge, but they're not in a great area of town. And so a lot of them are separated out for rentals. Like I was looking at a realtor and one of them has like 8 bedrooms and they've just separated it into little, I don't know if you call it condos or it's just this big giant house and it's huge. It's crazy. Yeah, and they all have basements too. A lot of the old houses do. Faith, I understand. Yes, I saw a couple of people, a couple of bigger YouTubers that have the big basements. Like, oh, I need room, this and that. I'm like, you have a huge basement. Like I said, I don't want a basement because of the. I'm like traumatized from our old house of how awful the basement was, and I can't. But if I like when we had our basement, we had shelves like up above the ground because our basement would flood. And so but we had a lot of storage down there. We would store so much stuff down there. It was super nice. Like everything that you guys have seen in my office is downstairs. Okay, and the basement part because of tornadoes. That is something that is really nice, but I will say I do love our crawl space for that. I feel safe in there and I like that it's in a good spot of the home. So yes, there are a lot of older Victorian homes in our area, like not right where I live, but in our area ish, where they have the wraparound porches. They call it like the historical area, and they're really pretty, really pretty. Our house has a half wraparound, and I always thought, oh, it'd be so nice to have a wraparound, but I have dogs and little kids, so it wouldn't be super ideal unless we lived in the country. Oh my gosh, that sounds like a dream, Wanda. 5 bedrooms. Oh my gosh. Colonial hardwood floors. That is one thing that stinks about our house being kind of new. I say kind of because it's in the 2000s. And you know, we ripped up the carpet in the girls' room and that carpet was original to the house. But there's no hardwood floors. You do that in an older house, you rip up carpet and there's beautiful hardwood floors underneath. No, you don't get that in these houses. So that is a huge bummer with going with an older house. I will say that's definitely a con. Okay, so I think I don't know exactly who they are, but they came up on a social media platform of mine. And I think I know who you're talking about. They are so beautiful. And I wish our historic district was in a good neighborhood because that would be a very good option, but it's not, sadly. Sadly. There are other small towns ish nearby that have really beautiful uh older homes like in the historic area and they keep them up really nice and they're really pretty to drive by. I can imagine. I remember what it was like for our old house keeping the house because we had one room that was like at our old house, the add-on, the addition was not done correctly and it wasn't oh gosh, it wasn't insulated right. And so it would be freezing in there in the winter and then so hot in the summer and the windows were super old and it was awful. And our electric bill was insane. Absolutely crazy. Which our electric bill is slowly going to increase because summer's coming and I'm not really looking forward to that. I can imagine that there are a lot of rules and regulations. I've been seeing on TikTok people talking about HOAs, and I never ever had the desire to live in a place with an HOA. Like, we don't have an HOA, but the people around here love to mow their grass. Let me tell you what, we have one neighbor that will literally mow their grass every other day. And sometimes I feel like they're like looking at us and it's like, we don't have time to mow our grass every single day. Like we are busy. Zach works like crazy and I can't mow with the kids. What am I going to do with the kids? Like I can't, no, can't do that. I mean, it's not possible. No, there's just absolutely no way. And they mow like every other day. And it's like, we're lucky we can mow once a week. Once a week. And I know a lot of people have mowing services around here. And I'm like, that is just not in the budget. I'm sorry. Like maybe someday when I'm older, but right now it is not. I can't even imagine what they're paying. My one neighbor, she's a doctor. She has everything delivered to her house. Everything. All of her groceries. Amazon is there every day. Her packages will be stacked up so high. She has Camera City because she has all that delivered. She has Uber Eats all the time, food delivery, like I said, mower service. She had lawnscaping service. She had gutter cleaning service. She's had any service outside of her house come to her house because she can just, it's crazy. She orders everything, groceries, all of it. Thank you, Tammy. I really like our house too. Sometimes I feel like it's small, but I'm never moving again. Moving with kids is not fun, and we would never find anything. We wouldn't be able to afford anything like that. I mean, because prices are just crazy in the area that we want. Yes, I've seen that we have to ask to paint your home, see if the windows, I've heard about that. And I've seen a lot of that, like, when you watch, I know when you watch renovation shows and stuff, how hard it can be. $2,000? Whoo! Ouch. That hurts me just reading that. That is crazy. Yeah, it must be not. I know. I think the same thing with that. I'm like, well, and sometimes our packages will get screwed up. And she's never home because she's a doctor. She works hard. And so I got one of her packages and she got one of mine. And so I had to go over there and she wasn't there. So I like talked to the camera and I was like, see, I have your package. And I felt so bad. But I was like, this is yours. It has your name and you have mine. I'm just switching. Like I didn't want to, get in trouble or anything, but I definitely wanted her to know, that I wasn't taking your package. Hey Marie, happy Friday. I'm just hanging out after date night. Just chatting about everything pretty much. Just everything and anything. That's crazy. Fined if you don't have your yards kept up. Our yard is kept up, but if we get a lot of rain and then like we don't get to mow, yeah. I'm telling you though, our neighbor mows like every other day. And I'm just like, if you want to mow, like you can mow our yard. That's what I want to tell him. Like you can use our mower, you can mow the yard. Like if you desperately want to mow that bad, you can mow. It's okay. You can come over here and do it because sometimes I'm like, dude, why do you do that so much? Like I don't understand. And he waters his yard constantly too. And we pay like a premium for our water because it's like through everything, like through a, like our area buys water from something. It's dumb. Yes, Marie is in the chat. Well, she was in the chat. She's in the chat. See, there she is. Marie's channel is awesome. Go check her out, you guys. And I feel like, yeah, Faith, that's a good question for Tammy. What is kept up in your yards meaning? That's what I'm very curious about because, so we actually had, I don't think I ever talked about this on my channel, is when we moved in, we had to hurry up and build a fence around our house really quick because we had the dogs and we had 1 week to move into our house and I was pregnant with Maverick and it was a lot. And so Zach built with my dad our fence in 2 days because Zach, before his job, he worked for a fencing company. He knows how to do it. And so he built our fence. It's not a full privacy fence. You guys have seen it. It's like I think it's 4 feet. I don't know, 4 feet. He built that. And while he was building it, somebody in our neighborhood called and we didn't know, like our realtor told us we didn't need a permit or anything. And so we found out we had to go and get a permit and pay for a permit and have permission in order to put a fence up. And I'm like, but it's not, we thought it was only if you needed like a tall, like a 6 or 8 foot privacy fence. I'm like, we have a 4 foot. So someone called and told on us. And so we had to go get the paperwork, fill it out, pay the fee. And he's like, you guys are approved. You already, I'm like, well, we already started. So like, they're kind of SOL. Like, we got to have it approved because the fence is, you know, it's up. So that was kind of annoying. It was, yeah. Knee-high grass. Okay, yeah, that is definitely unkept knee-high grass. That would be, ours has never gotten that high. Ankle height, a little over ankle heights, definitely, but no more than that. Hi, Angela. Yes, we just feel the social pressure to keep our grass kept up. That's a good way to put it. The social pressure. I know, like, we've had a neighbor like mention something here. They're like, oh, they're gonna cut their grass. And it's like, dude, we got 3 kids. Like, we're busy. Zach works nonstop. Like I said, when am I gonna mow? How can I mow with kids? It's not gonna happen. And with the dogs, like, I just wonder. But the fence, Marie, it does help keep the kids contained, because when I'm home with them, I go in the backyard, I pick up the dog poop every single time we go back there. That's a pain in the butt, let me tell you, but every single day I go back, I pick it up so the kids can run around freely, and it is just, it's the best way to keep them contained. I want to get a swing set, but they're so expensive. Holy crap, that is crazy. I'm glad that we didn't have to go to court to keep our fence. I probably would have cried just being so pregnant. I mean, I was like 34 weeks pregnant when we had moved. It was stressful. And we had like only my parents' help because COVID was in the works with that. It was terrible. I saw that TikTok too, Faith, where they like spray painted their grass. So funny. I'm like, that's really smart, actually. That's a pretty good idea. Yes, lawn wars is 100% it. That is exactly how it is in my neighborhood. Like, they were all just waiting and itching. Like, as soon as it was warm, mowed. I'm like, why do you need to mow? Like, it just frosted the other day. Like, we don't need to mow yet. Yeah, see, I'm not good with the plants. Like, I do not have a green thumb. Zach's really good at that. He waters all the stuff. I just can't. I'm not very good at that. Oh, Wanda, have a good evening. Thank you so much. And you have fun walking your dog. Yes, navy is everywhere. And like, when we go in our front yard or our side, when the kids are riding their bikes and stuff, navy wants to like run full force down our incline driveway. And oh my gosh, I have anxiety that she's just gonna run and just smash her face and just like scrape it up and be bleeding. And she doesn't want to hold my hand because she's Miss Independent, and it drives me crazy. So when she's in the backyard, I can chill because dog poop's picked up. There's nothing she can get hurt on. I can kind of relax. But when the kids want to go ride their bikes and stuff, oh my gosh, it freaks me out so much because I just worried she's just going to smash her face. And when she does do that, like, she can walk with shoes on, but she walks better with socks on. So I'll pick like an old thick pair of socks and put them on her because I'm just nervous. Like, she's going to trip and scrape her face. It just worries me so much. Okay, so that's not too bad. We like our trash, we can, you know, we have to have it out like on the day, but it can't be left out any longer. So I do know some people asked about our camper. We do keep our camper where we live, and luckily we moved in before like our neighbor moved in, because they told us, like, because they came for the fence and our camper was there, and they're like, is this your camper? We're like, well, yeah, it's our camper, it's here. And they said, and we were like, well, can we keep it here? They said, yeah, you can keep it here as long as your neighbor's okay with it. And we're like, cool, sweet. And so our neighbor's fine with it. We can keep it there. Hopefully we can keep it there for a really long time, because it is very, very expensive to store your camper at other places. It can be very pricey. And so, and we're also worried if we store it somewhere else, you know, mice issues, rats, you know, at storage facilities. You never know. So that's something we've taken account to. But yeah, so you said your side yard, we would love to like have like a concrete drive like up in our side grass area maybe, but it would be kind of hard for Zach to get it up to park it, but he would figure it out if we absolutely had to move it. 6 times this week alone, Angela. That sounds like my neighbor. That's literally what they love to do. They haven't been able to because it's been raining and cold here. But as soon as it's hot and sunny out, they're going to be mowing every day. I don't get it, honestly. I really don't. I do not understand. I mean, I guess I think I could see Zach being like that though. Like when our kids are older, I can see him being that type, like, I'm gonna go mow, and him mowing like every day. I could really see him doing that. I don't know why people are so worried about like what other people do with their properties. I mean, I can understand if someone has their yard just full of so much stuff. I can definitely understand that. But if you have like a couple of things in your house is well kept, like why does it matter? Like you're not paying the bills, you're not paying the mortgage, you're not paying the taxes. Like I don't understand why it matters. Yes, our old neighbor was like that too. She was extremely nosy at our old house. She would be like that. And you know, I guess I talked about my doctor neighbor, how she always has everything delivered. So I guess I'm being nosy too. You know, it happens. But see, I feel like as a stay-at-home mom, like sometimes I need to be alert of what's going on in my neighborhood. Like I like to pay attention, keep an eye on things, and just, you know, I like to watch if there's, you know, certain cars going past my house. And yes, noticing surroundings. That's a good way to put it, Faith. That's how I like to say it. I'm noticing my surroundings, paying attention. Sometimes I pay attention too much and I freak out, but that just happens. 6 or 7 in the morning? Are you kidding me? I don't think so. The neighbor, I do have a neighbor though that has 2 golden doodles, and they bark a lot, a lot. And Junior, our corgi, if he hears a dog barking or anything, and like it's quiet downstairs in the morning, he will start barking. And then when he starts barking, Rudy starts barking. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, no, I don't want the kids to wake up from the dogs barking. And so sometimes we'll leave like something down here for them so they can have a sound to listen to. But then I don't really like doing that because I want them to be alert. But sometimes our neighbors will do that at like 6:30, 7 in the morning. Okay, so I can understand the 11 p.m. time, but it would be dark outside. So I don't know, unless you have a lot of lights maybe. Zach has mowed one time at like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, I think, but I don't think that's too late. I mean, it was the only time he could do it with, you know, work, and he got off work really late, and then detail, kids, and bed, and so that was like the only time he could do it. An alligator in your yard? Oh my gosh, that's so scary. Were your dogs in your house? And then they saw it? That's so crazy. Oh my gosh. That is wild. That is so crazy. Was it huge? Was it, oh my gosh. Do you have a fenced in yard? I have all the questions, Faith. Yes, you have a good night too. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to be going here soon. I cannot believe I've been on here this long. I'm getting tired. I think Zach was going to hang out. I think he went to bed. He's tired. My kids are little night owls sometimes. Oh my gosh, that's funny. At our very first house, we had this old lady that was like back to us, and she was so sweet. She was definitely my favorite neighbor we've ever had. And she lived with her daughter, and she went down to Florida in the winter, and her daughter stayed there all year long, and then they came back and they had this little white dog, and her name was Gracie. And this lady was so sweet and nice and cute. And then we had like another next door lady. Anyway, so this one was really nice. And her little dog would always bark at Rudy and Junior. And she'd be like, Gracie, Gracie. And she was just so cute. And she was so nice. And then the next lady next door, she actually, she was like the opposite. She was like really mean. She was kind of mean, but wouldn't really say anything. And one time she was like cleaning out her gutters and she fell and I saw her. And so Zach and I went out, we hopped the fence, we got her up and we called the ambulance and stuff. And she broke her hip. Like she broke her hip. And she was nice to us after that, but it was crazy. Yes, Marie, that's how I am too. Like I am always so tired and I just really love the nighttime because I get to have me time. And tonight was actually the very first time, not the very first time, but the first time in 2 weeks that I've been away from the kids longer than 30 minutes. And it was definitely necessary. I have learned for myself over the years, with being a stay-at-home mom for the last 4 years, I need at least 2 to 3 hours a week away from the kids. At least 2. Like even if it's just going to the store or doing something else, like I need that time to just reset, to just get back into it. And it's so hard sometimes. Like last week I didn't get that because we were all sick, and so that was really hard. And Zach, I had a rough day 2 days ago. I was super overwhelmed. I was overstimulated, and he surprised me with date night tonight because he knew that I needed it. Like I was just so overwhelmed. It was just a lot for me, and it was just really hard. So date night was really nice to have. It was good to get away. Right in front. They sleep? Nice. Zach, you gonna come say hi? I thought you were asleep. You wish you were asleep. You gonna come say hi on the live?
Sure.
Squishing me. You gonna say hi?
Hi.
Oh my gosh. So they fell asleep. Don't mess up my hair.
Yeah, they're asleep.
They love you, Zach. They say you're so sweet.
I know I am.
Tammy
You don't
says
have
you're
to
sweet. I'm glad you got them to sleep though. That's good.
Sure did. Both. Sleep.
In their own beds?
No. In our bed. But
they're asleep in our bed.
that's a thought that counts, right?
Well, yeah, at least they're asleep. That's good. I'm telling you guys, it's hard to get them out of our bed into their own beds since Disney. It's been the struggle. Struggle bus. Hey, he tried. Okay, Marie, that's exactly what he says. He says that if I'm tired, he's like, go to sleep. Not that hard. And I'm like, no, I need my alone time. I need to watch my trash TV shows. Like, I need that time. Gotta have that me time at night.
I'm gonna have my me time in my garage.
Okay, you have your me time in your man cave. You wanna can I have a snack? They're not in there, they're on the counter. Can I have a piece of cheese too?
Sure.
I'm back into the cheese now. It's really good. I made cookies today, guys. They're so good. They're my favorite. Oh my gosh, Ashley, that's creepy. Watched you through their window. Thanks, babe. Through their window. Well, at least I know. I love sliced cheese. It's so good. Ugh. She's so cute. Yes, I can share my recipe. Where should I post it at? I will type it in the description box of this video if I can remember. I definitely will because I love it. I don't even know where I got the recipe from. Can't remember if it was my grandma's or if I got it off of a box somewhere online. I've definitely fine-tuned it. and added things that I wanted to it. And it's really good. I mean, I might be biased, but I think it's good. You have to make some cookies now. You just have to. I love to eat the cookie dough. I am so notorious for that. It's so bad, but oh, I love that. I am a cookie holic. I love cookies. That is my vice. I feel like now I pretty much exercise to eat cookies because I love them so much. Like they're great. Oh man. Oh, I have great news. Navy and Savannah's wallpaper for the top up above their room, like the board and batten, instead of it coming late May, it's coming next weekend. I'm so freaking excited. Like, I'm so pumped. It's going to be awesome. The room's going to be done. It's going to be great. I can't wait. Finally, it's driving me nuts that the wallpaper is like almost done and then there's just one strip. Drives me crazy. I'm glad I'm not the only person with a cookie problem. That makes me feel much better because I love chocolate chip cookies. They are life. And whenever I am, I'll tell you a fun fact about me. Here's something that is, something I do when I'm stressed. This is what I do. So I don't eat a lot of cookies, but whenever the kids are stressing me out and not listening, I take random bites of a cookie throughout the day. And it helps me when I'm stressed out. So I take a bite, I go to the pantry, take a bite, I chew it up, I breathe, and then I'm like, okay, I can do this, and I continue. Don't know if that's a healthy coping mechanism, but it really does help when you're stressed out as a stay-at-home mom. And yeah, they're actually like a soft chewy when they're first done. I love it. It's like smoking a cigarette. That's really good. That's probably what it's like, yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for the rooms to be done. I cannot wait for it to be done and I can share it with you guys. I still don't know what I'm going to do with their names yet though, but I am excited. Ooh, brownies. That sounds good. Chewy brownies. Cookie dough, so good. That reminds me, my grandma used to do that actually, Faith. I remember her doing that when she'd have my cousin and I over, and we'd have a sleepover. She'd be like, I'm gonna go outside, and that's what she was doing. It cracks me up. But it is like that because I will. I have the cookie jar right here. Zach brought it over, and I will go and I will take a bite of a cookie and I will stress, and it just releases all the stress for me, because before I did my weight loss journey, I would eat a whole cookie. So I've learned to just take a bite, and that helps me. I take a bite and I really soak in that bite, and then I get on with the day because, and I've been taking a lot of bites of a lot of cookies because that's what happens when I don't get time away. Yes, sweets definitely do help with stress. I agree with you. And cereal is my vice when I'm pregnant. That's what I love. When I'm pregnant, I love Lucky Charms upstairs in my bed with cold milk. Oh, that is just so good when I'm pregnant. Like, I just love that. I love that and Reese Puffs when I'm pregnant, but mostly Lucky Charms. Oh, so good when I'm pregnant. Ooh, and Cookie Crisps too. That's really good. Yes, try the bite of the cookie and then just breathe in, take in the cookie. Because sometimes, like, I feel like my kids just fight all day, or they just pick at each other to make each other mad, and it can drive me crazy because it's just over and over, and it's like, oh my gosh. Some days it's like that, and some days they play great together, everything is good, and then some days they just fight, and it drives me crazy. Like, just nonstop fighting and picking, and they both want the same thing, and then they both want to do this and they don't want to do that, and they can't agree on this, and ugh, I know it's not just my kids, but some days it can be a lot. Like today, that's what they were doing. That's a good reason though. That's definitely a good reason to eat that. Yeah, I'm really bad with the cookies. Like I can usually get 6, 12. I can get about I think 24 cookies out of my batch. It depends how much cookie dough I eat though. Cereal is much better at night. It is very good at night. What is chocolate digestives? I'm very curious what that is. It sounds good though. Definitely sounds good. No, you are not the only one. The fights can be bad. And I feel, and it's always on the days, well, okay, so Savannah doesn't have school on Fridays because it's, you know, preschool. She goes Monday through Thursday and it's not all day yet. And that one day, it's always Fridays, they just fight like crazy. So, okay, Marie. So when I first got my Peloton last year, yes, my butt hurt on my Peloton when I was riding it for about, I'd say 4 to 5 weeks it hurt, and it took a lot of adjustment. It killed me so bad. Like it hurt a lot. And I was too cheap to, I know you could buy a cushion. I was too cheap to buy a cushion because I put all my money in the Peloton and the membership. So I actually used an old pillow that I folded and I would sit it under there like when it would start to hurt. And so I would sit on the pillow, and that's kind of what I did. That was how I got through the first 4 to 5 weeks. My butt does not hurt after that. Like I got used to it and adapted to it. I was riding it about 5, 6 days a week when I was riding my Peloton then. And since we were sick, but normally I ride it 3 to 5 days, and it still doesn't hurt because my butt has adapted to it. But yeah, the first 4 to 5 weeks is terrible. Oh my gosh, the butt pain, the sores, just sitting down, like it's rough to get used to. Yeah, it definitely gets better. I promise it gets better. It's just like an adjustment period where it gets, you know, where you have to get used to it. And my butt got smaller. I lost my butt. Like it's gone from kids, but then I lost it even more with my Peloton. Like the first place where I started to really lose it at when I was on my Peloton was my legs. I noticed it in my legs for sure because, you know, you're cycling like crazy. And so that's one of the first places where I noticed my weight loss was like my legs and stuff. Oh, that sounds good. I would definitely like a digestive then. I feel you. It can be really hard to get motivated to ride your Peloton. It was really hard for me this week to ride it after I was sick and I got my period. So I was recovering from that, both of those things. I got my first period, since May 2021, so 2 years, and whoo-wee, it was hard to get back on the Peloton after that. It was terrible, absolutely terrible, and so it was rough, but I told myself, Jenna, you're gonna feel really good after this workout. You're not gonna feel good during it, but you're gonna feel good afterwards, and I was right, and so that's kind of like, I just talked to myself, pushed myself through it. Hey, Tamika, happy Friday. One of those banana bike seats. That's, I love that. Yes, I really like the challenges. They keep you going. I think April has probably been my worst month just because of sicknesses and being busy. We were busy a lot this month too. But I'm ready. I am almost at my 1 year mark for working out on my Peloton. I think it comes up 2 weeks from now. Oh, congratulations. That is awesome. My goal is whenever I get pregnant with baby number 4 in the future, I want to work out on my Peloton, and I know that's going to be extremely, extremely hard for me to do because I am like, So I feel you. I would have zero motivation as well, but congratulations. Try to stay positive. And even if you just do like a 10-minute ride on there or 15, I know they have a lot of prenatal ones and they have some postnatal ones. What is that girl that is on there? She's the redhead. She was pregnant and she was kicking my butt on those classes. I can't remember what her name is, but man, she is like, she's a rock star. She was like 9 months pregnant on that thing. And I'm like, girl, I need that motivation not being pregnant. Like she was doing good. Like she was having, yeah, hit classes. It was crazy. I also don't know how she was working out on that, 9 months pregnant. And like, she didn't look like she had any issues breathing. Because, you know, when you're on it and you're towards the end of pregnancy, like you feel all that pressure because, you know, you're going to give birth and just, I don't know how she did it. Rock star. Women are rock stars. I just don't know how, I don't know how she did that. My goal is to do that next time though. Next pregnancy. I would love to be healthy and try to work out, but it would just be so, I don't know. I'm really hoping, since I am 20 pounds less from when I got pregnant with all my other kids, that I will have healthier pregnancies and that I will not be sick the entire time, because man, that's rough. When you throw up every single day during your pregnancy until the day your children are born, it is hard. And that is the one thing that is like, oh, yeah, it's hard. Just thinking about it, I'm like, oh, that would be a lot. Holy crap. Rockstar, 41 weeks, dilated body pump, had the baby after that. That's insane. That's so crazy. That's really crazy, actually. Later that night. Whoo-wee. Women are awesome. I just don't know how. I feel like the more kids you have and the more pregnancies you have, you're just more tired because you're taking care of you're taking care of your other kids and growing a human and like trying to just keep it up. Yeah. Oh, Marie, I feel you. It's terrible. I threw up every day, all trimesters until they were born. But the first trimester is the worst because you're so tired and like you're trying to adapt. And yeah, that's one thing I'm like trying to prep myself for the future, is like, oh, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be hard. It's going to be worth it. But man, is it hard. Moms go through a lot. I would be worried like that too. She would be giving birth and you guys would all be helping her. That's something I would definitely be worried about. That's so nuts. That's like something from the movies that you would see. You know, someone's teaching a show. What is that movie? Yeah, it is. You feel like you have the flu when you're that sick. Ugh. I was on so much medication. Oh, excuse me. Hi, good night. I hope you had a good night. I'm only going to be on here a couple more minutes, guys. I'm getting tired. And I think my phone's going to die, actually. I don't know how it lasted this long. I'm impressed by it, though. That's for sure. Oh, man. I should have a couple of new videos for you guys next week. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely, well, once the girls' room's done. I am so excited for that. Super pumped. Super pumped. Okay. Yes, I want to see the alligator video. Please send that to me. That would be awesome. Oh, you're saying hi. See, I'm tired. I literally read that wrong. Like I read hi, good night. Like, oh, I'm going good night. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yes, Tammy, I agree with you. There have been so many sweet people in tonight's live. I appreciate you all. Like, it has been so much fun. This live has been. I've loved chatting with you guys. My last live, I had some comments and I had to delete it and stuff, and it was just, yeah, it was crazy. But I have had a really nice time. I'm glad I got on here and talked to you guys. I like doing this once every so often when I can. And it just so happened tonight, like I had my face on after date night. So it was just perfect to do this. Yes, Ashley, 100%. Real quick before I end, I didn't tell anybody. It was really hard with doing YouTube this last time to not tell anybody when I was pregnant with Navy. Like, I waited until I was 13 weeks, almost 13 weeks. I think I was 12. Yeah. So almost out of first trimester. It was really hard because I was miserable, and I had a couple people message me. They caught on to it. They saw a couple things in my videos, like my bands, my C bands, because I was so sick. And they were just wondering if I was okay. I was only posting like once a week. Like, it was really hard. So, it's hard to go through all that and not tell people. I don't really tell. I tell like super close people in my life. I don't tell everybody. And so I feel like it's kind of obvious too when you don't say, because you're like, keeping it to yourself, keeping to yourself more. But it's hard. Women are rock stars. That's all I gotta say. We are rock stars. Moms are rock stars. Like, we kill it. Like, we do awesome. We really do. But I hope you all had a good night. I'm gonna go to bed and finish my delicious cookie. You guys have your cookie, enjoy it, and have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.